Indeed, Burma has preoccupied us quite significantly since August 25th, when armed attacks took place on security forces. And the ensuing humanitarian crisis is of epic proportions. Many of the challenges in Burma have preoccupied us for decades, but this current crisis has been quite devastating. I had a very good morning, joined by colleagues from our Refugee Bureau and USAID, with the members of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, as we did a couple of weeks ago with their counterparts on the House side of Congress. Let me give you a few top lines of our discussion today, where we are with regards to our actions addressing the crisis, and then take your questions. Burma's long struggle defied authoritarian rule to transition to a democratic society. The terrible Rakhine State crisis has exacerbated long-standing suffering of Rohingya and other populations and threatens this peaceful transition, as do other challenges the elected civilian authority inherited just 16 months ago. Our efforts seek to end the violence, support the displaced and their return home, and address the conditions that sparked this colossal population movement. We also want accountability for atrocities. As we announced here last night, we have identified new and ongoing actions to hold responsible those who have committed violence, including the following measures, and let me share them with you. Suspending travel waivers for military leaders. Assessing existing authorities to consider options to target individuals responsible for atrocities. Finding that all units and officers involved in operations in northern Rakhine State are ineligible for U.S. assistance programs. Rescinding invitations for Burmese security leaders to travel to U.S.-sponsored programs. Maintaining a long-standing arms embargo. Consulting on accountability options at the United Nations, the Human Rights Council, and other venues. And pressing for access for the UN fact-finding mission, a mission that we helped support the establishment of. There is also a need to address long-term causes of instability in Rakhine State. We support Burma in implementing the recommendations of the Kofi Annan Rakhine Advisory Commission to take on underdevelopment, lack of services, access to justice, and a citizenship process for all people in Rakhine State. At the same time, Burma's overall success is very important for the peoples of Burma, for the region, indeed for U.S. national interests. We will continue to work with the democratically elected civilian leadership, Burma's diverse populations and other stakeholders inside the country, and the region on this crisis and other daunting challenges in the post-military era of that country. Today, as I said, we testified before the Senate and several weeks ago before the House. There have been many questions there about how best to describe the appalling treatment of the Rohingya. I want to be very clear. We are not shying away from the use of any appropriate terminology. We have a deliberative process to examine facts and a policy to support the pursuit of additional information to make such determinations. Thus our support, for example, for the UN fact-finding mission. In the meantime, as Secretary of State Tillerson said, the violence has been characterized by many as ethnic cleansing. Our ambassador to the United Nations, Haley, has said that actions appear to be a brutal, sustained campaign to cleanse the country of an ethnic minority. There's no question in our minds that atrocities have been committed, and we will work with the international community and Burmese stakeholders to pursue all means available to hold accountable those responsible for these acts.